Okay, good morning and good afternoon to everybody that's joining us for this webinar from T-Systems. Today we're going to be looking at the topic of how to reduce costs and increase efficiency with integration between the PLM and the ERP environments. Welcome to everybody. Just some housekeeping just to get that out the way before we hand over to our main presenter, Svilen Grgic, who will take us through the topic and the demonstration. I just wanted to share with you that if you hover at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A button, which we'd love you to use. If you have any questions towards the panelists, that would be great if we could use that. We also want to make sure we have enough time to cover any of those questions towards the end. We'll do our best to answer as many as we possibly can. We'd also like to extend to you right now that we will send a link to the recording of this webinar to anybody that's registered for this event. That'll come via mail in the next couple of days. And please reach out if you have any additional follow-up topics. At this point, I'd like to hand over to Svilen. Svilen is going to take us through the PLM SAP integration, and we're gonna kick off straight away. Svilen, good morning, good afternoon, sir, and welcome. Can I hand it over to you at this point? You can unmute
Yes,
yourself.
Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe I'm not muted. Can you hear me? Just short confirmation.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. You're standing next to us.
Okay,
excellent.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. So today we have prepared following agenda. We will introduce at a high level the use cases around the SAP PLM integration. And we have prepared a live demo for you, including several PDM systems. And of course, we will be happy to tell you something more about the systems at the end. And as Mike mentioned, at the end, there will be a Q&A session. So we will be happy to answer any question you might have. So as we started this journey over a decade back in time, we had the good old world where it was pretty clear which kind of data is handled in the PLM systems and which kind of data is handled in SAP. However, there were integration issues, and we've developed a product in order to address these issues. And we started with the common ones to be able to exchange part materials, BOMs between the both systems. And step by step, the scope has been increased, having more and more content, configuration data, effectivities, plans, whatever is needed. Within the last, I would say, 5 years, there were a rapid development on both sides. If you take a look at the major PLM vendors like PTC, Siemens, 3D Experience Platform of Dassault and Aras, all of them, they are addressing more and more features and data models in order to cover at least a part of the manufacturing process. On the other hand side, SAP, and especially the newest development of SAP S/4HANA, is moving into the opposite direction so that you can cover more and more of the engineering process and data in your SAP. So therefore, the way how the systems interact with each other and the scope is not that clear as in the past. And we focused our solution into the direction to be more open, the capabilities to have a flexible and performant integration between PLM and SAP nearly without limitations, so that you can address in a best possible way your own processes and your own needs. So this is what we call data continuity. That means that through the entire product development process, this is the goal of every company, to have a data continuity, to reduce redundancies, And yeah, at many companies, we still have the standard pictures with two dominating IT systems, for example, a Teamcenter, a Windchill, 3D Experience, Aras, or whatever is a PLM backbone, and of course, SAP for production planning and execution. We as the systems provide the key interfaces and we ensure this data and process consistency. And by the way, we address this not only for SAP and PLM, the focus of this webinar and SAP and PLM, but I would like to spend only few seconds or few minutes to explain what we can offer additionally. And in that case, the platform we have developed is a flexible platform to provide different kind of services. Last but not least, I would like to give you the advice that our SAP PLM integration is already fully cloud enabled. So that means you are able to do pure cloud integration scenarios or also hybrid scenarios. So that means that one of the systems is on premise and another system is in the cloud. What you see here is the big picture of our PLM SAP integration. You can see here two kinds of connectors. So the magenta connectors, like for example, Aras Innovator, 3D Experience, Teamcenter Windchill, and of course SAP. All of this connectivity is provided as a product. So that means there is a set of functions in order to exchange data bidirectionally between the systems. There are predefined templates, predefined processes, and predefined mappings for all of these systems. So that it is relatively easy to set up this solution and to exchange the first data within a very short time frame. Of course, if there is a need, you can enrich the integration by having some additional systems like requirements management systems, IBM Doors, or for example, to include some of the solutions of our partners like Conviva or TakeSelite. But this is not in the focus of today's sessions. Today, we will try to explain you how exactly the processes, the monitoring and the reporting of this data exchange works, what can you do, and we will try to cover a little bit also the security aspects of the data exchange. Next slide, please. So now we will switch back to a live demonstration. I hope that the connection will be stable. In this live demonstration, we have prepared some of the out-of-the-box functions and use cases we can cover. So the transfer of parts, revisions, documents, BOM transfer, but also the transfer in context of a engineering change object. And all of this with multiple PDM systems, so with 2 or 3 of the named PDM systems. Okay, I will try to share my screen now.
Okay.
Okay, Tino, probably you can disconnect and then I will share my screen and then we will switch to the live demonstration.
Okay,
so the first
Sven,
system,
your screen's coming up. 1 second. Okay, we can see your screen now. Okay. We're still seeing your PowerPoint presentation at the moment.
Okay, great. So the first system I would like to start with is Teamcenter. In this case, we have prepared a small use case for this webinar. So this is SAP and not Teamcenter, but this is Teamcenter. Okay. So for this webinar, we have prepared several showcases. So they are showcases showing the exchange of engineering data, including documents. We have assembly structures, and we have also a example how the data can be exchanged in context of a change management objects like ECN. In that case, we have prepared some sample scenario with a problem item and also with a already created solution item. From user perspective, the data exchange is very simple. They just have to right click on the data in Teamcenter and say, okay, synchronize it. They will get the confirmation. So in that case, we have a TSI Web 001. And this TSI Web 001 is what we will see right now in coming in SAP. And it is already there. So the material has been created immediately in SAP within few milliseconds. And we have also the additional data, like for example, the document data, so that we can verify that the documents here in SAP are identical with the documents we have in Teamcenter. Okay, still some connection problems. The second use case is to exchange a engineering change notice. The engineering change notice is used to document the context of a change. For example, if there is something wrong with the piston of an engine, then a ECN is the describing object, and it contains the links to the problem items and to the solution items. We can take a look at SAP first to see that this ECN is not there. So that means they are not aware, the SAP guys are not aware of this change. Close the document and take a look at the, no? All right. So this is the change number we have created in Teamcenter. And the change number is missing. Now I will go back to Teamcenter and I will start the data exchange. As I already mentioned, it's just one click. And within this data exchange, we want to communicate the information about the solution items. So that means on the SAP side, there will be the information what has been changed, and it will be properly addressed. So the new revision created in Teamcenter will be then properly addressed on the SAP side. So let's switch back to SAP and start the search again. And voila, we have here the ECN. We can check the objects and we see a new material has been created. And this is the new piston, the revision B with the new geometry, which resolves this. Okay. If we take a look at this scenario works absolutely the same way also with any other of the standard integrated systems. The next system I would like to show very shortly again is the 3D experience platform of the SOL. Of course, the user interface of the 3D experience platform is a little bit different, but in general, the data is constructed in a similar way. So we assume here that we have to cover primarily also the engineering process. Therefore, there is a ECO, engineering change order. if we take a look at the details of the engineering change order, we will see a similar situation like in Teamcenter. Pardon me for a second. All right, so this is the engineering change order in the 3D Experience platform. And we have here also some affected items, which describe also part of the engine, the cylinder, the crankcase, and so on and so on. The data exchange in the 3D Experience platform is also very similar to what we saw in Teamcenter. So we have just to click here on the SAP icon, and the data will be immediately sent to SAP. So now we can take a look again in SAP and see if the data appears. So we will go through the change master in SAP. We will take, of course, the 3D Experience platform change master, which is that one. And we can see that all of the materials are properly transported. So we have the context. We have, of course, the information, if needed, about not only about the materials, but also the material bumps, work breakdown structure, whatever is needed. So there is no limitation of what is to be exchanged. And it works absolutely the same way with any other system. If there is any interest, let us know. We can demonstrate not only these use cases, but also extended use cases at any time, also with systems like Windchill of PTC or Aras Innovator. So, and now I would like to share with you what is in behind. And what is behind is the technology of the PDM WebConnector. And what you see now is the web client of the PDM WebConnector. And this is the landing page. It is not mentioned from the for the end user. It is mentioned for power user and for administrators. You can see what happens over this integration scenarios. You can take a look at the process management, for example, and see which kind of processes were executed. You can have a reporting out of the box. This reporting shows you in detail that, for example, we have exchanged the ECN 006 from System A, so in that case, Teamcenter, to SAP. You can control the data not only on the way from System A to System B, but anytime later on. It is reported, and if there is an issue, you can analyze it at any time. And of course, if there is a need for a more deeper analysis of the data, there is a advanced access and performance monitoring feature, which is collecting all of the technical information needed. You can see the access times. You can have the so-called one-click error detection. So that means all of the log files are collected automatically, and the administrator just needs to click once on the line and see exactly what was the problem with the SAP access. And last but not least, there are, of course, additional functions for operators and administrators, where they can check the healthcare of every connected system. They can take a look at the server load, whether there is sufficient memory, CPU counters. So everything what is needed to have a stable and performant usage of the integration solution, and to analyze in a very fast manner what are the reasons for possible failures. Okay, at the end of this demonstration, short demonstration, I would like to point out that uh, also the PDM WebConnector client can be used for live access to the backend systems. So that means if we want to take a look at the Enovia data, or excuse me, 3D Experience platform data, you can take the change order. Let me take a look. What was the number here? So with the multi-PLM client, you have a live access to every integrated system, and you can check every single data, every single attribute, and of course, you can start the synchronization of the data out of this technical client. So here you can start also the synchronization to SAP or to any other system. This can be very helpful if you want to take a look at the data on the both systems at the same time. So you can look using this one web client. You can look at the same time in the 3D Experience platform data or Teamcenter or Windchill or whatever you name it, and you can compare live what is included on the left-hand side, what is included on the right-hand side, and so that you have in one view the both worlds, the 3D Experience world, Teamcenter world, in general, the PLM world, and the SAP world. It is used by some of our customers also to troubleshoot and to manage in a more efficient way, let's say, some corrective actions in order to have a better integration. Okay, I will switch back to the presentation now. It seems like my connection is a little bit more stable now.
Right.
Please apologize for this. So yeah, the question is who is using this? We address, we are coming from mainly from the automotive and aerospace and the manufacturing world, manufacturing industries. Here are some examples of our customers. They are official references like Bosch, Jaguar Land Rover, and Daimler, but there are also other aerospace, oil and gas companies which are using the solution for the integration between PLM and SAP, but also for other extended scenarios. And of course, you will receive this presentation, or you can download the presentation after this webinar, and you can take a look at the more detailed description of the solution we are doing. The main message here is that all of this is practice proven, and we serve also large companies with very complex integration scenarios worldwide, in Europe, but also in the US, and we are able also to handle a huge amount, an enormous amount of data. Like, for example, for the aerospace companies, we are talking here about bill of materials containing up to 3 million parts between a PLM and a ERP system. Okay, how could it work with you for the future? So we address our new customers with a starter package. We provide a free trial license for 3 months period, and we help our customers to install and configure the solution. I have to be open that, of course, such a solution is never like a Microsoft Office, just to install it and to play with it. So there is a certain need for configuration support, and of course, there is a need for some consultancy on our side, where we can bring in also our best practices in order to address in best possible way the use cases you might have. And of course, we provide a short user training. As I already mentioned, there are several predefined synchronization scenarios and use cases. We provide all of these templates and they allow a quick implementation, but all of those topics can be easily adapted also by your own. This solution is designed for integration also of heavy customized backend systems. You can use via configuration. Only per configuration you can address any custom data type, any custom relationship you might have in your systems, so that you have the full flexibility of what exactly shall be exchanged between the system, including also security aspects. One of them could be, for example, do not exchange price information out of SAP. So all of this is also easily possible by configuration, and you can control it by yourself. You need a short training from our side, of course, but you don't need a specialist or external services to do it by yourself. However, our experts will be happy to help you, and we support our professional services. Our experts support our customers mainly in the way to solve, let's say, more complex use cases and to find the best practice or the best way for your company. All of this is a part of a portfolio around our PLM products, integration products, where, of course, the software maintenance is included, where we have the product support. We take care that every current version and the previous version of the PLM system and SAP is supported. You're getting in a very short term, after having the new version of your PLM system, you're getting in a very short term an update on our side, so that you can seamlessly move to the new versions of the PLM or ERP systems. And we're working all the time on the product enhancements. However, with our professional services, so we are able to support also our customer projects. And last but not least, we have also our training services so that your teams can do this by yourself. And now I would like to hand over back to Michael.
Yep, I'm here.
To tell something more about T-Systems in general, because I believe that at least in North America, probably not all of the facts are well known.
Absolutely. Thanks, Philan. So folks, yeah, just to give a view of the T-Systems organizational structure, we really look at following our global customers around the world. That allows us to resource up and deploy the people that we need, and the technology that we need to support our customers. At the bottom, you'll see five brands that are there, and they represent really the biggest customers we help and support around the world, specifically in the region Americas market. They are diverse. They are all over the place, and really Airbus represents on this slide our aerospace business and the supplier pool that goes there, and Continental represents our tier one supplier business, and the other three, of course, represent our OE vehicle manufacturers. And Svilan has referenced some projects that we do for various automotive industry companies around the world. We're part of a big group, and in the US, you will know our T-Mobile business in the retail space, in mobile networks, and of course, from a T-Systems perspective, we cover the enterprise IT solution stack and services stack for our business-to-business customers. We're well represented throughout the US. We partner on a global basis with many tier one organizations from a vendor perspective in the IT sector. And more we see our customers demanding from us the push to digitalization, to be more agile. This is part of the reason why we love the solution stack that Svilan is talking to you about. We believe that speed, agility, and the ability to change on the fly becomes more and more important from a research, development, engineering perspective, all the way through to the production and lifecycle management of the products that our customers are developing. This slide really, for me, is to put your mind at ease that T-Systems as an organization employs some people. We try and make some money to make sure we keep our doors open. We have fantastically skilled people around the world to help our customers, and we want to leave you with a view and an impression that T-Systems is a solid, reputable, highly experienced organization that is trusted by our customers around the world. Next slide, please. So when we talk to our customers about who we are and what we bring towards our client base, we really like to focus in 4 key blocks. It can get very complicated with portfolio discussions and multitudes of products and services, and really I'd like to reduce it to 4 key blocks. In the connectivity space, this is our historical base. The telecom group is renowned worldwide for network services for infrastructure. We are in a unique position to bring together 5G, narrowband, SD-WAN, and mobile networks, all packaged together for our clients out of one hand. We can combine that with our digital business, and this is part of what we were talking about. What we're talking about today forms part of that. We span within our digital business in the automotive and manufacturing industries, everything from in-car software development, the now traditional DevOps skill sets and platforms. We work very hard with our customers on digital production, the SAP roadmaps to S/4HANA, as well as, of course, our PLM and systems engineering base to help our customers achieve their objectives. The bottom left is about the cloud and infrastructure. Where do we put it? T-Systems is world-renowned for private cloud in our own data centers for our customers, but we support many of our clients in their own data centers, as well as this new shift to public hyperscaler. So how can we help our customers land their infrastructure in the environments that make the most amount of sense to them? There are many in the market that will talk about moving everything to the cloud, and we know that's not practically possible. There are absolutely systems that will remain on-premise with our clients, some that needs to go to a private cloud for security and privacy regulations and containment, and then other environments that we can shift and move to hyperscalers, and we're absolutely able to help our clients with any of that. And lastly, but not least by any stretch of the imagination, we talk a lot about security of the data and the security of the privacy of the information that we work with our clients around the world with. T-Systems and the telecom group are world-renowned for their security portfolio, and this stretches all the way from standardized product like penetration testing to managed security operation centers around the planet, and it scales not only to traditional IT landscapes, but also now to things like connected vehicles and the mobility stack that's moving into our various markets. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Right. And when I talked about the 4 blocks, we talked a little bit about PLM and engineering, and I love this slide because it really gives on one page a great summary of the total PLM portfolio. Svilan was very kind to take us through really a small part of that in terms of the integration and migration, which you see in the middle of the slide. But actually, our customers, and there are many, some of them are at the top of the slide that you can see. I'm not going to read out all the brands, but I think it talks to our span and experience within industry to help our clients. But we try and break it up into 3 key blocks. Modernization and integration of the PLM landscapes. We know that there are changes happening all the time within our customers. Our customers buy and sell businesses. They bring on board different environments that are maybe working in different landscapes and environments. There's technology, fundamental shifts and changes to fit strategy from the PLM vendors, and of course the ask of T-Systems in many of these environments is to help modernize and integrate this changing environment. Then there's the systems engineering block and the digital twin topic. This is becoming more and more of an issue in terms of the fundamental changes of how our customers want to change and modernize and think of and rethink how they take their products and services to market, and the requirements for digital twin to allow them to be faster and more flexible, and allow that to happen in an organized way. Love to talk to our customers about this. And then flexibility through the cloud. One of the biggest challenges with PLM is what do we take to the cloud? How do we take it? What does T-Systems bring? And in the picture in the middle on the right is actually a photograph of our high performance center in Germany, where we help our customers utilize this infrastructure, which absolutely makes very little sense to any individual client to have available to their people. You need scale, you need workload to go through these computers, and we allow our clients access to this. And can I use the phrase, bring your own license and bring your own data, and we can help you process through that. And that cloud topic is going to become more and more of an issue as we go through this modernization. What in the PLM stack can be shifted to the cloud? How do we help address the SAP roadmap with our clients as they modernize that ERP stack? And how do we keep that integration going forward as they go to the cloud? And then the bottom band is really to highlight and illustrate to our clients that we are vendor neutral. We talk and manage and work with all of the major vendors in this space. It's important that we remain vendor neutral as much as possible because we know that our customers are very seldomly uniform in their PLM approach. And we need to be able to talk across technologies to allow us as T-Systems to be effective in this space. Thank you. Can I have the next slide, please? Right. So in closing and in summary, we believe T-Systems provides a perfect fit for our clients' needs. And to sum it up, the data, functions, and processes seamlessly integrated between PLM and SAP is where we want to add value and provide solutions to our clients. And we are not afraid, and we know and understand that there are absolutely very specific customer requirements regarding the integration, because each client really is unique in terms of the landscape, and the service partner that's selected for these offerings is critical to the success of the programs. Okay, I think that's the last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Can we check?
Yes, this is the last.
That's it.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's the last slide.
Right, and right on time as well. So from Sweden and my side, we'd like to say we'd like to look at some questions. If there are any, I'm going to open up the Q&A just to have a look. If anybody on the call wants to type in a question, please go to the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen and you can type it up there. Sweden, maybe I can kick you off with a question just from my side. And I don't want to put you on the spot, my friend, but could you talk to the audience a little bit about what's your view on this cloud topic? You know, as some of our customers look to move some workload around SAP to the cloud, they're looking at this S/4HANA topic. What's your view right now on how this connecting of the PLM and the SAP environment is going to be impacted, and what should our customers look for? And maybe a follow-on question is, what do we do now to help them, right, and into the future?
Okay, thank you for this question. So in general, there is no golden path. So when we take a look at our customers, there are some very conservative customers which would like to remain on premise. Okay, so at least in Europe, we still see some of the customers which are struggling with going on the cloud. However, there are already several use cases where we support. The first use case is moving the PLM stuff in the cloud. Also having the advantage of what you said, high performance computing, having the simulation in the background, having also a different way how to address the engineering stuff or the engineering challenges because of COVID-19. So that's why there are already first companies moving at least partially their CAD and PDM processes into the cloud. And then, of course, they need a integration between a PLM system running on the cloud and a SAP, which is still on premise. Second use case is exactly the opposite. So the PLM stuff remains in the company, in the enterprise, or the PLM systems and the CAD systems, but the ERP part moves to the cloud. Okay, we did a large research the last couple of months with SAP for HANA, also including the new interfaces. We know that there are some maturity issues regarding the overall architecture and functionality. However, we are able already to start also with the first project supporting also the SAP in the cloud. This is especially interesting for customers which want to use the new SAP for HANA functions and the new data model of SAP for HANA.
Thanks, Wieland. Just a question for you.
What we are doing is just to provide, excuse me, just one last sentence. What we are doing is to provide all of the technical capabilities to do it in a secure way. As you mentioned, having also all of the expertise of Deutsche Telekom and T-Systems, so that the customers which are a little bit afraid what happens with the cloud, is my data secure, is the transport of the data between on-premise and the cloud secure, that I believe that we can address this in a pretty good way.
Okay, thanks, Wieland. Question for you. What's your view on how T-Systems can help regarding architecture for cloud-based PLM solutions? So are we able to help our customers with that? I think that's the question.
Of course.
And how do we help?
Of course. Yeah. So there is a PLM cloud provided by T-Systems. But beside this, we have already a lot of expertise how to create a PLM cloud independently, if this will be the Open Telecom cloud or any of the other clouds, Azure, whatever. It is there is a lot of knowledge needed to have a PLM cloud, starting from trivial stuff like licensing and licensing issues with using in the clouds, or probably optimization, and going through to the best-in-breed combination of CAD, PDM, requirements management, and so on and so on. So that means our PLM cloud initiative combines the both sides, the cloud side and the PLM experts, in order to have a comprehensive package. And in that case, there is a PLM cloud of T-Systems which can be presented, and the customer can decide if this is a good solution for him or not. As you mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, we can support also our customers to build their own PLM cloud.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Now, Svilan, just a comment from me, and then the question. I mean, I remember not too long ago when you get to the engineering department of the company or the customer, and those guys have got the best machines, right? Because they've got heavy compute machines to run the solutions on premise, right? And they've normally got non-standard hardware because of the nature of the PLM software and what they're doing. Maybe just a comment from your side around that change of mindset within those teams within our customers. Have you seen resistance to going to the cloud for PLM from a people perspective? And is there I guess the question is there a need for almost change management from a people and behavior perspective around this new thinking, or do you find that it's coming from the younger generation and the new blood coming into these organizational teams that are completely happy with going to the cloud? Maybe some comments around change management and adoption from a user perspective.
I wouldn't tell this a change management. This is probably the cultural change and the generation change. And we see that, to be honest, it is like this. We see that a lot of the young engineers, they are looking for a new way to work. They don't really want to accept the old traditional way, and they want to be more flexible. They're quite open to go to cloud-based solutions, to share ideas, to experiment with new stuff. However, the automotive and the aerospace business in general is a more conservative business, and the deciders are still in an age where probably there will be some challenges to convince also, let's say, the older generation to get into this direction. However, there is probably no way back. I believe if you take a look at one of our customers like Daimler, they have set it up a special project to address, let's say, all of this new kind of thinking which is needed to modernize the company, and then of course to modernize the products. So this is more on the organizational side. However, last sentence probably, even some conservative engineers having already did already some good experiences with new platform, with good stability, with good performance, and I believe this is also a way how to address this, and it will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, no, that's interesting to hear from you, right? Because it is a generational step, right? And adoption will come as things modernize. Svilan, last question for you, and it's just your thoughts. I know you're not a security expert necessarily, but any comments around what you've seen in the market regarding customers' perception around data security in the cloud, around PLM? You know, this is intellectual property. It's very difficult to manage and control. But maybe your thoughts around how we talk to our customers around the security of putting all this information and this technology in the cloud, and what's your experience been in the feedback of that from the customers? I suppose that's the question.
Mm-hmm. So right now there are meanwhile there are pretty good security solutions on the cloud itself. So I believe T-Systems, but probably also others, can guarantee that the data, the systems on the cloud, that they are secure and no one else has access to them. Especially for our European customers, there is also a specific cloud solution where we guarantee that the data will never leave Europe and everything will be treated by European law. There are similar concepts. I know about it also for other countries.
Absolutely.
So right now, the issue is less what happens on the cloud. So the data on the cloud and the systems, the functions on the cloud, let's say they are already kind of secure. So there are still people which are concerned, and companies which are concerned about which kind of data would I like to exchange between the cloud and on-premise, because the cloud scenario does not mean necessarily that I'm putting all of my PLM or engineering processes there. So one of the interesting use cases we are discussing with our customers is to have the PLM cloud, for example, for the joint ventures with the Chinese or Indian companies. So that means, in that case, mechanisms as the mechanisms provided by our integration, where you can control at data level what shall be exchanged from premise into the cloud at attribute level, and this is getting more important. I believe we can provide a lot already, but I'm realistic, or we are realistic, and we know that a lot of change, a lot of things shall be developed also within the next at least 3 to 5 years.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Svilan, thanks. I'm fascinated by that last statement that you made. I didn't really, I didn't come to my mind in terms of these global joint ventures and technology sharing, right? Of course, our customers want to share information, but there's some intellectual property that they want to retain, right? And when you say that down to attribute level, they can decide if it's red or green flagged for sharing into a common environment. Then I suppose PLM Cloud is the way to go, because you can create that for that collaboration project, but still retain on your side of the table what you want to retain and keep secret, right? Without sharing everything, which is really the way to go. It's one way to address these things. Very, very good. Right, folks, we've come to the end. We've got about a minute left of our time. Svilan, I want to say thank you very much. It was a fantastic demo and presentation. You handled the technology challenges fantastically. Tino, thank you for stepping in and helping us with the PowerPoint during it. It was great. To those listening to this webinar, and if even in a recorded format, there's some contact information on the last slide. Please reach out to us. We're happy to help and support. And again, thank you so much to everybody who helped put this together. We really appreciate it.